Peace and power elevation be to all you beautiful people out there. What's happening? It's your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. So I want to continue with the celebration of Women History Month because March is Women History Month, and I want to be able to acknowledge the historical events that has taken place with women alike from across the world, and particularly my main focus is on African American women and African women throughout the diaspora and the things they have done and contribute. So when we deal with history, we're not just going to deal with history from the good part, but also the bad and the ugly as well. However, I want to continue where I left off because now I'm focusing on the women in the STEM field. Okay, so I want to look at Dr. Eliza Ann Grier. So Dr. Eliza Ann Grier, what's interesting about this sister here, she was the first African American woman to be licensed to practice medicine in the state of Georgia. Yes, in the state of Georgia. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pull up some information about her, and from there, I want to, I want to pull up the information, and then I want to just talk a little bit afterwards. All right. So let's go into our biography and let's just read and see what can we find out about Dr. Eliza. That Kodak Black song is stuck in my head for some reason. All right, but anyways, let me go ahead and continue. All right, so this is the picture of Dr. Eliza Ann Grier. Okay, that's her. So what do we know about this woman? So it says Eliza Ann Grier, Eliza Grier, an emancipated slave, believed that she could be most helpful to other African Americans by getting a medical education. All right. So it says Eliza Ann Grier was an emancipated slave who faced racial discrimination and financial hardship while pursuing her dream of becoming a doctor. To pay her medical education, she alternated every year of her studies with a year of picking cotton. It took her 7 years to graduate. In 1898, she became the first African-American woman licensed to practice medicine in the state of Georgia. Although she was plagued with financial difficulties throughout her education and her career, she fought tenaciously for her right to earn a living as a woman doctor. All right, so Eliza Grier wrote to the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania in December of 1890 to inquire about the cost of medical school there and whether there would be any work she could do that would not interfere with her studies. I have no money and no resource and no source from which to get it. She said, only as I work for every dollar. Grier had spent 7 years working and studying to become a teacher at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. But she believed she could be of most benefit to her race by getting a medical education. She asked the dean of the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania whether any possible way might be provided for an emancipated slave to receive any help into so lofty a profession. She was admitted to the college and alternate coursework with periods of working to earn tuition. She completed her studies in 1897 and later that year was licensed to practice medicine in Fulton County, Georgia. Okay. According to a notice in the North American Medical Review, in 1898, when Grier applied for a medical license in Georgia, she became the first African American woman admitted to practice in the state. When I saw colored women doing all the work in cases of accouchement, which is childbirth. Oh, that's a new term, accouchement. Okay. She was quoted as saying, and all the fee going to some white doctor who merely looked on. I asked myself, why should I not get the fee myself? For this purpose, I have qualified. I went to Philadelphia, studied medical medicine hard, procured my degree, and have come back to Atlanta, where I lived all my life to practice my profession. Some of the best white doctors in the city have welcomed me and say that they will give me an even chance in the profession. That is all I ask. During her tragically brief career, Grier was able to call on a number of distinguished supporters to enlist financial aid, including A.W. Whitaker, Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Pennsylvania, who wrote her a recommendation to support her application to the Women's Medical College. She fell ill in 1901. Grier was unable to keep up her medical practice and so wrote to Susie B. Anthony, leader of the National American Women's Suffrage Association, to ask for help. Throughout her struggle to qualify and to practice medicine, Grier never gave up. When she died after only a few years in practice, she had achieved a remarkable feat. Despite being an emancipated slave with little money or education, she went to leading medical school and became the first African American woman licensed to practice medicine in Georgia. Now that's such a phenomenal story right there. But at the same time, again, it's also sad because being that she was an emancipated slave, right, and also a woman of color, she was going to deal with the challenges of finding employment and get financial support to continue to finish school. So because of the fact that she was working in between picking cottons and going to school and get an education so she could be a licensed physician, it brought about such grief on her and became a detriment to her health to the point that she could not continue to practice medicine or to finish where she started off. So yes, let's see if I can pull up some more information. Okay, so let's go into where she was born and how she got there. Let's look at that. So I'm right here on GeorgiaEncyclopedia.org. Okay, so yes, Georgia has an encyclopedia. Every state, well, not every state, but most states have their own encyclopedia website, and Georgia happens to be one of them. Okay, so it said here that there's little known about Grier's life. It says she was born in 1864 during the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, to Emily and George Washington Grier. In 1884, she enrolled in the normal department at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. She worked her way through school, alternating years between coursework and jobs, yet remained active in extracurricular activities, including serving in 1890 as president of the Young Ladies Lyceum. Okay, so she graduated from Fisk in 1891, moved to Augusta, Georgia, where she taught at Haynes Normal and Industrial Institute, founded by Lucy Craft Laney. Soon after arriving at Haynes, Grier was accepted into the Women's Medical College in Pennsylvania, which later became part of Grier University College of Medicine, where she began her studies in 1893. Once again, she worked to support her financial pursuits and preserve through financial hardship. Okay. All right. So it says she graduated in 1897. Grier was one of a small but growing number of African-American female physicians in the United States. Later that year, she made national news when she became the first African-American woman to apply for and be granted a license to practice medicine in Georgia. All right. So it goes on to say that Grier and other Black physicians of this era, including Atlanta physician and pharmacist Henry Rufford Butler, were confronted with a system of segregation and Jim Crow laws. In response, they built hospitals, formed professional societies, and created educational institutions to support themselves as well as their communities. Grier, despite overwhelming difficulties, remained determined and engaged in opportunities to improve health and hygiene standards for African Americans in the rural South. She lived in Atlanta and in Greenville, South Carolina during the 4 years after graduating from medical school and struggled to build a private practice. She also supplemented her income with teaching and maintained connection to the hospital and training school for nurses in Charleston, South Carolina. In 1901, Grier was among the 200 attendees of the Tuskegee Negro Conference, which included such nationally recognized leaders as W.E.B. Du Bois. Around this time, she relocated to Albany, Georgia, or what down here we say Albany, but it's actually pronounced as Albany. Okay, but we say Albany for those of us that's from the South. But anyways, around this time, she relocated to Albany, Georgia, where her brother, Dr. R.E. Grier, also practiced medicine. Grier died in 1902 and is buried in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right. So that's the only information that I could dig up so far about Eliza and Grier. So it's not much on her background. And due to the fact that she was a former slave herself, there's not a lot of information about enslaved people, what I mean, as far as like their birth, they date of birth and all that. A lot of that stuff wasn't really kept. A lot of record wasn't around, so many of them didn't even know what year they were born and things like that, because there wasn't really no birth certificate and social security card back then like it is today, to keep track of those type of records. So yeah, that's that information. Here's a book that I think you guys, people should check out. Okay. And I'll be sure to post up some information. It's a lot more information that I got to post up on Facebook as well. This book is called The Book of Awesome Black Americans by Monique L. Jones, scientific pioneers, trailblazing entrepreneurs, barrier breaking activists, and Afrofuturists. Okay. So that's that. So that's all the information that I have today. That was a very short video, but I didn't have a whole lot to cover on. But I want to say this. Yeah, this woman was determined to put her focus into getting her degree and being able to do something that's very beneficial for her community. And she has inspired many Black people, especially Black women, to get involved in being a physician. She really has, her and many others. So by her being the first Black woman in the state of Georgia to practice medicine is an accomplishment. It's a major accomplishment. A major accomplishment. So I just want to give my gratitude to the ancestor, and I want to be able to make sure that I put out as much information as I can about our people and the things they have contributed and what they have done in this country and elsewhere. So it's a lot of stuff that I'm going to dig into. But and it's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to be able to put out there either. So I want you guys to make sure that you check out other channels that deals with Black history or just African history in general. Check out Home Team History. Check out From Nothing, Kofi Pie TV, the Maze Warrior Clan. Let's see, Team Osiris. Some of their channels still around. Then you also have Pseudo Killers. They doing their thing over there. And also you gotta check out Each One Teach One, especially. Yeah, check out Each One Teach One. Make sure you guys subscribe to their channel. Each One Teach One. They do a phenomenal job. So shout out to those brothers out there. Shout out to Brother Sanel. Thank you for always being supportive. So thank you, Sanel. You always support, and I want to shout out to you, Brother True Storian, Brother Robon, all of y'all over there doing y'all thing. So if y'all want to get more detailed information about African American history, you go over there and check out their channel. Like they do a phenomenal job. They do a great job. Okay. And also you guys need to check out Dr. Henry Louis Gates as well. He does a great job. And then also check out Legacy of a People. Legacy of a People is by Tim Reed. Tim Reed is the actor that was on the show called Sister with Tia and Tamara and Jack K. Harry and Marcus Houston. That if you guys grew up watching Sister, he was playing as the dad of Tamara. Yeah, so Tim Reed and his wife Daphne Reed, who was playing as Aunt Vivian on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, they got a platform called Legacy of a People. All right, so check that out, Legacy of a People. Okay, make sure you guys support him. Make sure you support the work. I think this man does a phenomenal job. All right. But anyways, y'all take easy on yourself. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm logging off saying peace and power, elevation be to all of you. And I will connect with you guys later. All right. Y'all have a good one. Thanks.